What's up guys, Ken here with the Shop Mini RC, and I just want to make a real quick video, and this one will actually be pretty short, just talking about rods, links, rod ends, link ends, ball joints, when people are making these custom links and ball joints and steering links and all that good stuff for the SCX or the FCX. So there's a lot of videos out there that talk about just buying the rod ends on Amazon, and we'll put links to those. They are the UX M2 links. That's these guys here. These links, link ends, really is what they are. Tie rod ends are 10 of them for $10. So they're essentially $1 per link end. Now that starts to add up when you're trying to do a full set of links, because you need 16 rod ends, right? 2 for each link, and there's 8 links, so 16. Plus, then you still need to buy your rod, lengths, and if you're going to sleeve them with any sort of sleeve so that they're the same diameter. We don't have any of the rod lengths because we decided to go a different direction. But even on like these here, the 3Flow 9, you can see they're rod ends, and then you put like a cover sleeve on them so they look good, right? So it's not just threaded or real skinny in the middle. It helps match your rod ends when you cover your rod, your tie rod. So anyway, if you buy those rod ends, and they're kind of pricey too, plus these, you start to add up pretty quickly. I wouldn't call it a cheap fix, but you do get custom lengths then, a little bit more custom. However, one thing I noticed is these Injora adjustables, these guys here, you may have already noticed, but the Injora adjustables and these rod ends and the rod ends here are all the same threading. They're all the same. Even though these are 2M or M2, 2 millimeters, and these are the 1.3 millimeters, the rod end threadings are the same. So you can see here, we've got a 1.3 millimeter here, Injora rod end on the Injora rod with the UX rod end here. And we're having to do this for this custom build we're doing. We're using the FCX axles, and the FCX uses the M2 on the axle, but then I still have the M or the 1.3s on the chassis for the belly plate, the skid plate and whatnot. So that's how why we ended up doing that. But my point is, these Injora links are $17 and you get all the rod ends, right? So if you want to use the 1.3 rod ends, just buy the Injora links, and then you can buy your custom length rods, and your Injora rod ends are, it's only $2 more, but then you also get the rods. So if there's a reason you want to use these rods too, you get those. Plus, Injora usually sends along, I think they sent along an extra rod end, extra, ball joint, some screws. So you get $2 worth of stuff. These don't come with screws or extra rod ends or ball joints. So you really get, and actually I think we got 18. We had 2 extras in here, if I remember right. So you get 18 rod ends if they send you the extras, plus ball joints and screws for $17 versus $10 for 10, and you have to buy 2 packs, so you have to get 20. So you spend $20 on 20 rod ends, or $17, $18 on 18 rod ends, same price. But these are the M1.3s, which you may want. But if you do want the M2s, then yes, you do need to get these. But just so you know, they all work on the same rods, same threading on all of them. So that's an awesome note. So through the magic of editing, we were able to time travel and get our rods in that we ordered. Now we ordered a whole bunch of these things just because we didn't know what sizes we needed for the build, and they're expensive. These things are $7, $8 for 5, right? So if you got the longest ones, well, not the longest ones, they make really long ones. They make them all the way up to like 300 millimeter. The M2 by 300 millimeter. I think there's still you have 5 of them, but again, you've only got the little bit of ends, so you can't cut them down, right? So it doesn't matter if you get the 30 millimeters, 25 millimeters, 65 or 55, they're all basically $7.49, and you only get 5. So if you get the 55s times 5, you're basically at 275 millimeter for $7. They're like $1 a piece. They're more than $1 a piece. Or you can get these, and I'll put a link to all this stuff in the description. These are 250 each, 250 millimeters each, so you get 500 millimeters, and you can cut these down to whatever size you need. They're threaded the whole way, and they're basically the same as these. I mean, they're literally the same thing, except they're threaded the entire way. Another thing that we got was this, and this is basically a giant bag, I think it was $8 or $9, of wire insulator. This is the 2 millimeter. If you really want it to be tight or tighter up against the the rod, you probably want to get the 1mm. We got the 2mm because we figured we could also use it for some of our wire stuff. It's still a little small for that, so it'd be tight, but basically, we'll use one of these as an example. You can cut it down. Especially if you're using the threaded stuff. And then you've got your rod ends. We did this for steering links. You probably don't want to do this for suspension links, although you could, but it's probably not the best idea because it doesn't slide very well. But for our steering links and drag link, this works great. Ideally, if you're going to do suspension links, you'll want a solid plastic, and they have that as well. Something like these that 3Flow9 used, basically just a harder plastic that you can slip over the 2mm rod, and then that makes it nice and slick. You'll want to do the same thing. But yeah, you basically can tighten it down, and there you go. You have two different ends, the 1.4s, the 2mm. We were able to get these for basically as cheap as these, if not cheaper, especially by the time you get the extras and the Injora links, rod links. And then, yeah, you can use these. And these are $7 for 500mm worth. So you can make a lot more links out of this stuff. And of course you can buy these, but they're pretty pricey. Just figured we'd show you some options. I don't really have much else to say. This actually probably went longer than it needed to for just this little info, but I thought it was good info to share, and I kind of wanted to show you. Either way, I hope this gave you some information and will help you out in a future build. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell, and why don't you put down in the comments, if you made it all the way to the end of this super long video, put down in the comments high clearance links, because that's what these are, high clearance links. Put that in the comments below. All right, guys, go ahead and get out there and build some cars. Make sure you run them, crash them, smash them, bash them, but don't break any expensive parts.